My best friend got married on Saturday. But Friday night, he was in my bed. And the worst part? He looked happier with me than he ever did with her. He was never supposed to be mine. Not even for a moment. Not even in the quiet spaces where truth becomes dangerous. People think heartbreak always arrives loudly. But sometimes, it enters quietly. Like your best friend showing up at your door the night before his wedding. Looking at you like he already made the biggest mistake of his life. His name was Tund. And if I'm being honest, I think he loved me long before he ever proposed to her. He just didn't have the courage to admit it. When Tund handed me his wedding invitation, he smiled. But it didn't reach his eyes. "Tomorrow," he said softly. "You'll come, right?" I forced a smile. Of course. But inside, something was dying. Because nobody knew the truth about us. Not his fiancée. Not our friends. Not even his family. To them, we were just best friends. But they never saw the nights he fell asleep in my room. The way he stared too long. The accidental touches that stopped feeling accidental. Or the one night he kissed me first. After that kiss, everything between us changed. But he never talked about it again. Instead, 3 months later, he proposed to a woman. We had been best friends for 7 years. Roommates for 3. And something else, for a few secret, unforgettable nights that neither of us ever named again. Until we stopped completely. Until he met her. Until he chose her. The house felt different after he got engaged. Not louder. Just emptier. Tund stopped laughing the way he used to. Stopped sitting too close. Stopped looking at me like I was someone he could lose control around. And I let him. Because I thought that's what love becomes when it has nowhere safe to go. A memory that breathes, but never speaks. The night before his wedding. Rain was hitting my window hard that night when I heard a knock. 3 slow knocks. I opened the door. And there he was. Soaked. Quiet. Beautiful. Broken. "I couldn't go home," he whispered. My chest tightened immediately. Because people don't leave their fiancé the night before a wedding. Unless something inside them is collapsing. This story is titled, "My Best Friend Was Getting Married, but Came to My Bed the Night Before." Tund stood at my door, soaked, suit jacket clinging to his body, eyes unreadable. "You're still awake?" he asked. "You're getting married tomorrow," I replied. A long pause. Then he said the words that shattered everything I had rebuilt. I couldn't go home. He didn't explain much. He never did when it mattered most. Just walked in. Sat down. Silent. Minutes passed. Then hours. We talked about nothing. The wedding. Her. The guests. Life. But not us. Not the truth sitting between us like a loaded gun. At some point, I woke up in the early hours and realized he was still there. Sitting at the edge of my bed. Staring at his hands like they didn't belong to him anymore. "I don't feel ready," he whispered. I laughed softly, bitter. "You've been ready for months." He shook his head. "No, not for this." There was a moment. A dangerous one. Where he turned toward me. And I turned toward him. No words. Just breath. Just history. He reached out and drew me closer. Our lips locked in a passionate kiss, followed by our shirts being unbuttoned. Just everything we refused to name pulling us closer like gravity with no mercy. It was a memorable night. His voice broke. "I keep thinking, what if I chose wrong? I should have stopped it there. I should have stood up. Opened the door. Sent him back to his life. Instead, I asked, 'Do you want me, or are you just afraid of tomorrow?' Silence. That was his answer. But morning destroys fantasies. And before sunrise, he stood at my door ready to leave. Didn't say goodbye properly. Just stood at the door. Looked at me one last time. Like he was memorizing a version of life he could never live. "I have to marry her," he said quietly. I nodded like it didn't hurt. Then he walked away. And just like that, I lost him twice. For the wedding, I didn't go. I couldn't. But I heard about it anyway. The perfect ceremony. The perfect bride. The perfect groom who smiled too much in photos. People said he looked happy. But I knew better. Because I had seen his face at 3:12 a.m. When no one was watching. When truth stopped pretending. 2 weeks later, I got a text. No greeting. No explanation. Just 5 words. I should have stayed that night. And beneath it, a second message. I don't know how to be married and still miss you. Some love stories don't end. They just pause. Indefinitely. Painfully. Silently. Ton didn't choose me. But he didn't fully leave me either. And that's the cruelest part. Because now I live in the space between his vows and his regrets. And every night, I wonder if he came back to my door again. Would I open it? Or finally let him become just a memory that stopped knocking? Subscribe to this channel for more interesting emotional stories. It was almost a month later when I saw him again. Not in a message. Not in memory. In real life. Outside my building. Standing like someone who had been rehearsing the moment for too long. He looked thinner. Not in body, but in presence. Like marriage had taken something from him and failed to replace it with anything solid. "Can we talk?" he asked. I should have said no. I almost did. But my body moved before my logic did. And I opened the gate. Inside, He didn't sit at first. He just stood, as if sitting would make everything more permanent. "I didn't think it would feel like this," he said quietly. I didn't respond, because I already knew what this meant. He continued anyway. "She's good to me." Pause. "But I feel like I'm acting inside my own life." That sentence hit harder than anything he had ever said, because I understood it too well. I poured water. He didn't drink it, just stared at it like it might explain him. Then he said it. Sudden. Raw. I didn't stop thinking about that night. My hand paused midair. He looked up immediately, like he regretted speaking. But it was too late. The truth had already entered the room. "You came to my bed," I said slowly, "the night before your wedding, and you still went through with it." He swallowed hard. I was scared. Of what? A long silence. Then, of choosing wrong, and still choosing you. His phone vibrated. Once. Twice. He ignored it. That alone said more than words. "She calls me more now," he said suddenly. "She suspects something." He shook his head. "No. She just feels me slipping." Another pause. Then he whispered something that almost broke the room in half. "I don't know how to belong to her fully when part of me is still here. I should have stood up. Ended it. Closed the door on everything that had no future. Instead I asked, 'Why are you here, Tund?'" He looked at me for a long time. Too long. Then he said, "Because I don't think I ever left." That was the moment everything became unstable again. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just irreversible. He stepped closer. Not rushed. Not accidental. Intentional. Like a man walking towards something he already knows will destroy him. "I tried," he said softly. "I really tried to make it stop." His voice broke slightly. "But every quiet moment in my marriage feels like I'm remembering you." The air changed. Thick. Unfair. Dangerous. And then, he reached out. Stopped halfway. As if asking permission without words. I didn't move away. We stood like that for seconds. Maybe minutes. Time became unreliable. "I can't do this," he whispered. I nodded. Because I agreed. And disagreed at the same time. "Then leave," I said. But he didn't move. Instead, he asked the question that ruined everything. "Do you still want me, or have you already let me go?" I didn't answer immediately. Because the truth wasn't simple. It never was. Then I said, "I let you go the day you chose her." His eyes dropped. Not in relief. In pain. But then I added, "But some part of me never stopped waiting for you to regret it." Silence. Heavy. final. Then his voice came out barely audible. Because I did. He looked at the door. Then at me. Then back at the door again. Like he was trapped between two lives that could never coexist. I don't know what to do, he admitted. For the first time, he sounded lost. Not confident. Not controlled. Just human. And I realized something terrifying. He hadn't come here for answers. He had come here to see if love still existed where he left it. Subscribe to this channel for more interesting emotional stories. He left again that night. But this time, there was no certainty in his steps. No clean ending. Just unfinished emotion trailing behind him like a shadow. And I sat alone after he left, staring at the same space he once occupied. Knowing one thing for sure. He will either come back for me, or spend the rest of his life pretending he never almost did. And both options will destroy him in different ways. Subscribe to this channel for more interesting emotional stories. Like they say, what happens in the dark will come to light. Secret affairs in marriage can be hard to keep under wraps. His wife found my message. And everything exploded. The moment his wife called me, I knew she had found something. But I wasn't prepared for the first thing she said. How long have you been sleeping with my husband? There are some phone calls your body recognizes before your mind does. This was one of them. The second I saw her name on my screen, my stomach dropped. Because Tund never gave her my number. Which meant one thing. She found it herself. And if she found my number, then she probably found the messages too. The message that ruined everything. I stared at the phone for almost 30 seconds before answering. Hello? Silence. Then breathing. Heavy breathing. Finally. Her voice. Cold. Controlled. Dangerously calm. How long? She asked. My chest tightened immediately. I'm sorry. How long have you been involved with my husband? The room went still. I couldn't even breathe properly anymore. Because there's something terrifying about hearing a secret spoken out loud for the first time. Especially one buried under years of denial. Then my phone vibrated again. A screenshot. My blood froze instantly. It was Tund's message. I don't know how to be married and still miss you. She had seen everything. Not all of it. But enough. Enough to destroy a marriage. Enough to destroy us. You misunderstood, I said quickly. Weakly. Pathetically. Even I didn't believe myself. She laughed softly. But there was no happiness in it. Please don't insult my intelligence, she whispered. Then came the question I feared most. Did he love you before he married me? Silence. I couldn't answer. And somehow, my silence answered louder than words. People think betrayal is always physical. But sometimes the deepest betrayal is emotional. And she knew it. She knew her husband's heart belonged somewhere else. Somewhere she could never reach. 20 minutes later, someone started banging on my door. Hard. Desperate. I already knew it was him. When I opened it, Tund looked terrified. Actually terrified. "She called you?" he asked immediately. I didn't answer. I just showed him the screenshot. The color drained from his face. For the first time since I met him, he looked like a man watching his entire life collapse in real time. "She went through my phone," he muttered. I stared at him in disbelief. "That's your concern right now?" He ran his hands through his hair aggressively. "I didn't mean for this to happen." That sentence snapped something inside me. "You didn't mean for what to happen?" I asked angrily. "For her to find out? Or for you to keep coming back to me?" Silence. Then he whispered. I tried to stop. But then his phone rang again. Her name appeared on the screen. And the next few minutes changed everything forever. He answered slowly. "Hello?" At first, she didn't speak. Then finally, "Are you with him right now?" Tund closed his eyes. That silence alone was enough. Then she said something neither of us expected. "Put me on speaker." He hesitated. "Now." He obeyed. And suddenly, the three of us were breathing inside the same nightmare. Her voice trembled this time. Not with anger. With pain. "I need you to tell me the truth," she whispered. Then she asked the question that shattered the room completely. "When you were lying beside me every night." Pause. "Were you wishing I was him?" Tund broke. Right there. In front of me. His eyes filled instantly. And for the first time, he stopped pretending. "I do love you," he told her. But even he sounded unsure. Then came the sentence that destroyed all three of us. "But I think I loved him first." Silence. No breathing. No movement. Just devastation. Then suddenly, the call ended. Tund sat down slowly like his legs no longer worked. I couldn't even look at him anymore. Because this wasn't fantasy now. This wasn't secret tension. This was real damage. Real heartbreak. A real woman crying somewhere because the man she married could never fully belong to her. Then my phone buzzed again. Another message from her. But this time, it wasn't anger. It was an address. And beneath it, just 6 words. "Come tomorrow if you really love him." I didn't sleep that night. Because deep down, I knew whatever waited at that address would either free us completely or destroy every life connected to Tund forever. And trust me, what his wife revealed the next day, none of us saw it coming. Subscribe to this channel for part 2.